I can, with 100% certainty, say that you will experience uncomfortable moments in your life. I can actually guarantee that if you are listening to this right now, whether you are 19 or 90, you can think of an uncomfortable moment in your life. I know I, at 22, can think of many uncomfortable moments in my life. When I was in kindergarten, my incredible parents were divorced. And then in 2007, our family went on food stamps due to the 2007 recession. And then you got middle school and high school, and you just cannot escape discomfort there. It was funny, actually. While I was writing and interviewing for this speech, I got appendicitis. I found 2 cysts in my kidneys, 1 in each kidney, and I was going through these odd heart palpitations. The list of uncomfortable moments in my life goes on, like all of ours. But it was the past 1.5 years where I realized the power of these uncomfortable moments. This past 1.5 years, my life changed forever. I was driving home one night going about 50 miles an hour, and a drunk driver was going the same. He missed the stoplight and T-boned me on my driver's side door. His car, upon impact, flipped, and mine was forced head-on into a traffic pole. The paramedics arrived on scene, expecting all fatalities, to find him and I alive on the curb. It was an absolute miracle that we survived that night. The reaction I would get when I would tell people this story would be, "You're alive. You should have joy. You're alive." And that's true on any day of life, really. But I couldn't help after my accident, when I was going through my real pain and my real fear and my real anxiety, to wonder what this joy I was supposed to have really was. What this joy I was supposed to have really looked like, and how this joy was actually produced. You see, what I've found by getting back to the square one of joy is that it requires us understanding our relationship with comfort. We have been trained by society to believe that comfort is the ultimate goal, the ultimate prize, the ultimate purpose of life. We go to work, we save, we live, we borrow to get to this place of comfort. Thousands of products, businesses designed to make our lives more comfortable. And in turn, we believe that this comfort will give us joy. And you see, the flaw with this, the flaw with tying our joy to comfort, is that when uncomfortable moments come, which are absolutely guaranteed, our comfort disappears, and our joy does also. After about 2 months of healing, both physically and emotionally from my accident, and really starting to understand more what joy was, my grandfather, whom I was extremely close to, passed away. A completely unexpected heart attack took our entire family by shock. I was back to the square one of joy. I was back to a place of extreme discomfort and pain. You see, there are moments like these in our lives where there really is no comfort to bring us joy. There is just heartache, loss, fear, which in plain terms are completely uncomfortable. How we have been trained by society to relate our comfort with joy is setting us up for failure. And I believe that there is a society begging to be taught right, begging how to know how to live a joy-filled life amidst uncomfortable circumstances. So what is joy? There are many misconceptions as to what joy is because joy is one of the least studied emotions. Oftentimes, having joy, and especially having joy amidst uncomfortable circumstances, is associated with this toxic positivity mindset. That joy is just an avoidance of our real feelings, an avoidance of our real circumstances. And I want to share with you something today that I believe will radically change your perception as to what joy is. Research has found that joy can be a mixed emotional state. Why is this significant? Because joy is not a fixed emotional state like we often see it. Joy is a mixed emotional state, meaning that we can experience joy mixed with other feelings. Joy is not an avoidance of our real feelings. It is experienced alongside those feelings. And I say that joy can be a mixed emotional state because there are some times where joy is mixed with other feelings, like those from uncomfortable situations. But there are other times where joy is all that is felt. Like when you finally get into the college that you've been working so hard to get into. Many would say that upon that immediate acceptance letter or email, all they felt was joy. And then, as you start to research what dorms are going to be like, or maybe the finances, or maybe what college is really like, that joy, it's still there. However, now it's experienced mixed with a little bit of stress and a little bit of worry, realizing you have no idea what it's going to be like to be a college student. Joy can be a mixed emotional state. We now know that we can experience both joy and discomfort simultaneously. Now, how is joy actually produced? Another misconception we have about joy is that joy comes solely from an event, and that event gives us these positive emotions like elatedness or gladness, but that is actually happiness. Happiness comes from external factors, something happening to us like this said event. Joy can come from external factors, but what makes joy different, what separates joy from happiness, is that joy is also an internal factor. Let me expand farther. Research at Harvard found that what makes joy joy, what allows us to have the fullness of joy amidst uncomfortable circumstances, is that joy is an internal choice that is purposely made. That ultimately, joy is an attitude of your heart and your spirit of which you get to decide upon. And as we learned earlier, this doesn't mean that we need to neglect our very real and valid feelings. It means that when we face these things, we now have the opportunity to also have joy. Joy, unlike happiness, defies circumstances. And since this is true, uncomfortable circumstances actually produce joy. Because in order for the fullness of joy to be produced, there needs to be uncomfortable circumstances worth defying. Without uncomfortable circumstances, that would be happiness, where the emotion is felt directly from the event. Without uncomfortable circumstances, we would have no need to make an internal choice. Without uncomfortable circumstances, we wouldn't know the fullness of joy. You see, after my accident, it wasn't the comfort of being alive that brought me joy. It was the discomfort of questioning what joy was amidst my pain and my fear that produced joy in me. I had circumstances to defy, which we all do. And I had an internal choice of joy to make, a choice we all have. Some might say, well, that's your personal experience. And to that, I want to show you something incredibly fascinating. Although I could share with you hundreds of millions of stories of how uncomfortable moments in people's lives produced in them joy, instead, I thought I'd show you some. Behind me is the World Happiness Report on the U.S. from 1973 to 2016. I mentioned earlier the 2007 recession, a time that was extremely uncomfortable for my family, as well as families and people all over the U.S. That recession was from 2007 to 2009/10, arguably. You could probably find that 2007 on this report is that lowest point of happiness for this time period. Now, right after that happiness, the recession, an extremely uncomfortable time, is still going on until 2009-10. And there is a steep increase in our happiness. Not even a gradual one, a steep increase in our happiness. And in recession, and an extremely uncomfortable time. From what society taught us, shouldn't our happiness be going down? It didn't, and here's why. Our happiness in this report is actually joy being produced. An uncomfortable time in America's society where our people decided to make an internal choice to have joy. Incredible. As I said earlier, you can't choose whether or not uncomfortable things happen to you. The pain, the feelings, the emotions, they are all valid and important to feel. But it's also important to know that where discomfort lies in your life, joy can lie also. You see, this moment is uncomfortable. Your brain has been rearranged in the way that you think and understand joy. Many would say that this is a joyful moment, and if that's you, congratulations. Joy is in production already. And if that's not you yet, that is completely okay. But I want to make you aware of these times and these challenging moments because these are the ones that give you an opportunity to produce joy. You see, even if you completely disagree with me, joy is in production because you have to search within your understanding of joy to disprove me. Joy is being understood, produced, and hopefully redefined in your mind, if it's with my theory or not. The discomfort is doing what it's supposed to do, giving you an opportunity to produce joy. You now have the power to share this joy with others. And most importantly, you have the power to share it and live it out yourself. An uncomfortable idea, right? Sharing joy with others. I actually hope that's part of your 100% guaranteed uncomfortable moments. Thank you.